Snow's First Christmas by Inkity Dinkity. Ink sat on the ground as she wrapped her friends' Christmas gifts. Her fluffy tail slapped the hardwood in excitement as she placed the last of them under the bristly pine tree. Sitting back, she let out a sigh of pride as she gazed at the beautifully wrapped presents and awkwardly decorated Christmas tree. Mackie had helped her decorate, but neither of them were tall enough to decorate the top half of the pine, and a sad-looking paper angel occupied the very center. It wasn't perfect, but that's exactly what made it special. "Are you done yet?" An annoyed voice rang around Ink's fuzzy ears. She nearly jumped from her skin at the voice, grabbing her chest and breathing frantically to calm her heart. The shock had made her turn back to her cat form, her fur ruffled. She had totally forgotten that she had covered the emerald eye to prevent Snow from peeking at their gift. "Sorry, Snow." She whipped her head to move the wavy hair covering her right eye out of the way. "Thank you for waiting," Ink purred with gratitude. "Yeah, sure, whatever." Snow dissected themselves from Ink and flew around the tree before standing before it, looking at a red-wrapped box with a white bow. "Mine?" "Yep," Ink replied before joining Snow underneath the pine. "But I know what you're thinking. No, you cannot open it yet. You can open it tomorrow with everyone else." Ink flipped her tufted ears with authority. "That's dumb," Snow replied. "No, it's fun. This is going to be the best Christmas ever." Bowing down and wagging her tail, Ink smiled to Snow, who raised a brow to her judgingly. "I doubt it. Fun is a childish word, a waste of time." "But tomorrow will be different," Ink insisted. "Tomorrow is Christmas, and I think you'll really love your gift." Snow rolled their eyes and flicked an ornament off the tree, which Ink caught right before it hit the ground. "Don't be a grouch, just trust me." "Last time I trusted you, you blew up a firework right in front of my face," Snow huffed. "Yeah, sorry about that, but this is different." "Sure," Snow sighed before returning to their spirit form. Ink turned human again and replaced the ornament back onto the tree. "Tomorrow will be different," she repeated to herself. Night had passed, and by the time the sun had rose into the sky, Ink had already been up for hours, making all her friends pancakes for breakfast, and making sure everything was set up right for the day, all while doing her best to ignore Snow with their complaining of getting up too early. But this was her first ever Christmas, and Ink wanted it to be the greatest one yet, and deep inside she was praying that her gift might make Snow smile. "Go to bed, Ink. It's too early for this. Stop ignoring me." She wanted Snow to smile, genuinely and not traumatizingly like she did when they were battling. Soon, Bagel, Mackie, Panda, and Owen had awoken from their winter slumber. They all ate the pancakes together and then gathered in the living room with a hot fire in the furnace. Before anyone could stop her, Ink began tossing her gifts out to her friends, who laughed and scoffed at her excitement. As soon as Ink's hands reached for Snow's gift, they flew from her body and grabbed it from her. Ink wasn't bothered, but everyone else looked surprised. They still were not used to the fact that Ink was possessed by a spirit, and that they can separate. But shrugging it away, Ink urged for them to open their presents, all except Snow, who glared with impatience. Mackie tore into her gift with the ferocity she always did when Ink gets her gifts. She gasped and held up a happy pink axolotl, something she had always wanted. Next came Panda, who chuckled at his Thorns book, Ink reminding him to take off his armor when around her pets. She didn't want them to get hurt. Bagel and Owen opened their gifts simultaneously. Owen took out a diamond pickaxe and Bagel a saddle. They both thanked Ink gratefully, and she purred with each praise. Behind her, she could hear Snow trying to leave with their gift, and swiftly she turned and said, "It's your turn, Snow." Snow stopped in their tracks and turned back around to look at Ink and all of her friends who were staring. "Come on, Snow, come over here and open it." Ink patted the floor next to her, and rolling their eyes, Snow sat down next to her. "Is it a bomb?" Snow asked, shaking the box, making everyone else flinch. Ink laughed before putting a hand on the box to stop them from shaking it. "Just open it already." Snow sighed and began to tear into the paper, exposing the box. "You know what? I don't want this." Snow scooted the box away, but everyone refused. "Come on and open it," they all said. And hesitantly, Snow lifted the top of the box and stared at the contents inside. Ink leaned forward anxiously, her heart pounding and her claws digging into the wood floors under her hands. Do you like it?" she asked cautiously. Everyone else was staring at Snow too, even Mackie's axolotl, which was watching them from a bucket of water. The silence was killing Ink on the inside. "You don't like it," she started, leaning back and looking at the ground. Mackie moved in to comfort Ink, all while Snow reached into the box to take out what they were staring at. Slowly, Snow pulled out a shiny purple-black sword that gleamed majestically in the sun that peeked in through the windows of the cabin. Snow's face slowly transitioned from blank to surprised. Ink looked up to see her hot-headed friend, and quickly she perked up. "You like it?" Snow continued to stare at the sword, holding it in their hands and waving it around in the air. "Ink, I don't know what to say," Snow spoke, finally, looking at Ink. "You could say if you like it or not," Panda offered. "Or that I can have it," Owen joked, quickly being shut down by Bagel's elbow in the ribs. "Ink, this is the last thing I would have expected. These swords take forever to forge. I wanted one since I was a kid." Ink smiled gently. "You're welcome," but her sentence was cut short as a new and beautiful sound came to her ears. Snow was laughing, an actual, genuine, happy laugh, and their smile. Ink was at a loss for words, but tears filled her eyes and she leaned in and squeezed Snow tightly. Snow grunted in disgust and lifted their fist, but calmed down and pat Ink on the head. "Merry Christmas, Snow. You granted every wish for me." A tear fell from her cheek, and Snow finally caved and hugged her back. "Merry Christmas, Ink." Then they raised their head. "Merry Christmas, everyone." Suddenly the room filled with laughter and talk as everyone exchanged gifts and shared the joy of the season. Ink sat back and watched her friends smile and laugh, and Ink remembered the true meaning of Christmas. It wasn't about the gifts, it was about family, and this was her family. As crazy or as weird as it was hers. Her fluffy tail slapped the ground with joy, and her heart felt warmer than the burning fireplace. This really was the best Christmas ever. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Make the days bright by sharing the love and the nights warm by reminding those that you love them.